everyone. I hope you've had a wonderful day, but now it's time to welcome you to Idea Dream Home Season 3, where me along with my judges have set off on a journey for the third time around to find Kerala's most beautiful home. And already we've been through so many. You've already seen our top 5 so far. I can't wait to find out whether we're going to get any more houses that are going to get into that top 5. In this journey, joining me are my expert panel of judges. They are all architects with tons of experience. We've got architect T.G. Ramesh from Trivandrum, architect Shaina Rajesh, who works in Kollam, and architect Ruben Koshi from Trivandrum as well. Today, the house Amrutham was the contesting house on the show. We've already seen the visuals. Now it's time for our judges to talk on the various parameters: exteriors, planning, interiors, and whether it has any special feature. Ramesh ji, exteriors, Adyam ee veedil nokkumbo, what are your initial impressions?
I think it's a typical city plot with a limited space, maybe around 8 to 10 cents, and with whatever possible in the limited space they have done. The gate is it's a good gate, but as you enter, the paving is there, and we cannot with some greenery here and there.
Whatever
they could do, they have done. And the exterior view also, that pergola coming out in the first floor has come out well.
Something different from the traditional houses.
Traditional. It's come with the limited space and limited. They've done a good job.
You're satisfied.
I am satisfied.
Shaina?
It's that type of elevation wherein you feel that you have to stand and have a look at it once more.
Again.
I mean, it's a typical city plot like Sir said, but again, the treatment they have given for the elevation is completely different. No extra, unwanted frills, very clean lines, neat horizontal and vertical lines. They've kept it very simple. Maybe it belongs to a working family, the couple, so they don't get much time to clean up and do the maintenance. So I think that's ideal for such a couple. Again, with the limited land they have done whatever landscape they can do to the whatever land is available. Again, another thing I liked is the balcony on the first floor. I really liked that the treatment is completely different from what we have seen in most of the buildings. Then I like the combination, that is the grey and of white colors with a splash of yellow here and there.
Yeah.
And the yellow is a really muted shade of yellow, so it doesn't stand out as such. And if I have to criticize the house in some way or the other, it would be those two buttress walls which are projecting a little above the building. Maybe that's all I can find fault with.
Okay, lovely. And Ruben, to complete that.
Yeah, like they said, it's definitely a typical plot, but it's definitely not a typical elevation. I like the elevation a lot because like it's not, even though it is treated very simply, I mean like they've just tried to highlight a few planes, you know, 2 planes where the buttresses are, 1 plane where the yellow is, and that has created all the difference. It's a very simple treatment. I mean, this could have looked like any other ordinary building if not for those simple treatments. So I think given the circumstances and the constraints, wonderful job. I like it. It's very simple, clean lines. You have basically a combination of, like Shaina was saying, a combination of stone, white and a splash of yellow for the highlight. That's all that's required. I think it's a very good job given the circumstances. I like those the dwarf wall on the sit out, you know, which separates. You don't want a very traditional seating area. It's a low wall, you can sit on it, except for that front sit out door, front door. Baki, the elevation is very nice.
Okay, lovely. Now let's find out the first set of scores for Amrutham that our judges are going to give. Ruben.
I'm giving 23.
23. Shaina?
22.
And Rameshji?
23.
23, pretty even there. Now when we step into the house, the planning, the flow of spaces, how has Amrutham executed that, or the architect executed that? Shaina?
The interiors have followed the simple lines of the exterior, very simple interiors, very simple systematic of the book planning, nothing extravagant, you know, like you don't feel confused as you enter the house because you know the living room leads to the dining room, from there you go to the kitchen, the bedrooms, whatever comes, it follows, you know, like it's very easy, smooth flowing planning. And 2 or 3 spaces which I really like best in the planning, with regards to the planning aspect, they have given a mezzanine floor from the landing on the staircase, and they have created a very comfortable cozy nook which can be used as a reading space, or you know, like to just laze out or something. You can use that space for anything.
Flexible space.
Very flexible space. And coming to the bedrooms, the toilets, all have been, I mean, normal planning, very utilitarian, very usable, very friendly spaces have been provided in all the areas. Then I think one thing which I didn't like was in the living room they have given windows on 3 sides, you know, like there's always a solid to void proportion, and that has to be maintained. It doesn't mean, since if you have I mean walls abutting the exterior on 3 sides, you have to give windows on all the 3 sides. You need some spaces for hanging paintings or for giving a cabinet or whatever. So it's not necessary to provide windows on all the exterior walls. I mean, you have to see the intensity of light coming in, that's enough. Then again, the TV space they had shown an area towards one side. I didn't see any seating in that area to watch for viewing the TV, and it was completely open to the living room in front. So I think they missed out on the privacy of that. Maybe it is a limitation of the plot, but other than that, everything has been worked out really fine.
Okay, wonderful. Ruben, planning?
Yeah, totally agree with what Shaina had to say. Absolutely functional interior, nothing spectacular, but I'm sure it works perfectly well. Some of the spaces, again, what I like was that mid landing over the staircase landing, but I thought in terms of furniture it looked a little underutilized. I couldn't really figure out what actually happened there.
Yeah.
So I think some appropriate furniture for that area would have given it a really more useful look. Yeah. And I like the fact that they didn't try to use too much color in the interior also, but that wall is yellow, so you see it from after a couple of levels you see a small yellow highlight on that, so it's defining, giving importance to that space. So they have used it, the color, even though limitedly, but they have used it well. One slightly sore point, I thought maybe it is because to reach that level they had to use so many number of steps, but because of that 3 or 4 steps like jut out of the staircase area.
Okay.
So that might look like a hindrance from certain angles, I don't know. But maybe to reach that level you needed that many steps. So besides that, I think it works very well. Toilets, I like the toilets, simple functional toilets with a ledge. You've seen how they actually use the ledge, very useful in a bathroom,
Yeah.
small size bathroom. So overall, pretty good.
Okay, lovely. Rameshji, how about the planning here?
I think as soon as we enter, there is a focal point sort of a thing created by some tiling work, and the TV is kept. But I think that's slightly, uncalled for. You as soon as enter, you see the TV, no seating there. And same thing in the, as she said, in the drawing room, there are 3 windows on all the 3 sets, which is also not unnecessarily, complicating things without any free wall for painting and all those things. And another thing I didn't like is that a wash has been provided below counter, below the chair.
Yeah.
And that is something, again, we could have find out another place. It's something very old fashioned, utilizing
Every space.
every space
Yeah.
and like that. But the kitchen is very ordinary. I mean, nothing special. They could have made it better. And as well also the first floor level also nothing special about it. But basically functional design, and the toilet also, with the minimum space, they have done a good job.
Lovely. So very functional is the key word for the planning. Let's find out what the score is. Rameshji, what would you like to give it?
21.
21. China.
21.
Also, and Ruben?
Me too, 21.
Not bad. So quite in agreement, the 3 of them, which now takes us to the interior segment. Amrutham, how does it fare in your books, Ruben?
Basically, we have a very Spartan looking interior. It just follows the theme of the outside, nothing flashy, nothing overdone. But for example, in the living room, I could see you had black sofas.
Yeah.
I mean, to give it that bit of an excitement, maybe the use of a little colored cushions could have livened up that space a little bit more. Similarly, I think in one of the bedrooms I had noticed the curtains just cover the window area, but always curtains should fall to the floor.
Okay.
It looks much better that way. It makes it, doesn't make it look very homely when the curtains just cover that bit of an area. And you don't have enough area to actually display your curtain, in the sense like a nice curtain, nice sheer, you need to display it, Then the bedrooms are looking really bare. I mean, you had the curtains, you had the bed, that's it, and the cupboards were there. But no other thought onto how to liven it up, maybe something on the wall, etc. Then the front door, like I mentioned earlier,
you were not thought on it.
It almost looked like a puja room door, and that just does not go with the style that you would
Of the rest of the house.
rest of the house. Yeah.
Lovely. Rameshji?
As soon as we enter, we see the ceiling, in wooden ceiling on top, that has come out well. And as also like the staircase railing has also is good. But it's all bits and pieces, but the bedrooms, as I said, it's all totally unplanned, and I think that the bed was facing one of the windows.
Yeah.
And like that, and no side tables, and not much thought has gone to the bedroom, not even a painting on the wall.
So they could do that, a little
Yeah.
bit of artwork on the walls would have
That's
enhanced
right,
it.
that's right.
Shaina, what would you say?
I think other than what the cabinets and the fixed furniture what had been provided at the time of the housewarming, other than that, I think the clients haven't made a sincere effort towards making it, towards giving it their personal touch.
Okay.
Maybe they are working, like I said, and they don't have the time, they haven't got the time as yet, but that is always possible and can be done in the near future. Some things I liked about the house, like sir said, the rafters, wooden rafters in the TV room, and the cladding on the TV wall. I think those were the only highlights they had provided. And on one wall they had given a muted yellow shade again, continuing, bringing in the exteriors to the interiors. And in one bedroom, I thought the curtains were a bit muted green again. That was also very cool. A lime green color was given. That was again, cooling to the eyes. And other than that, all the rooms were very simple. Nothing specific to say about. And one more thing which I didn't like is the toilet. Not the planning or anything, but toilet was completely in white. It's very difficult to maintain white flooring, especially not the walls. But I think a little highlighter here and there would have made a lot of difference to that toilet.
Okay, wonderful. Now, as per the scores, out of 30 for the interiors, Ruben?
19 for the interiors.
How about you, Shaina?
20.
Rameshji?
20.
20 from you as well, which means now I've just got one category left. It's a small one for 10 marks. Special features of Amrutham, anything mention worthy, Rameshji?
I think the simplicity of the exterior and a very minimum use of materials and right choice of the materials,
It's quite
right
refreshing.
colors in the right places, I think that's
That's the highlight. Shainak, your
Same thing, usage of material and color in the elevation, giving it a completely different novel look within limited budget.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite, you know, a good thing for our viewers who are watching to see that something really beautiful can come out in like a decent budget. Ruben, how about you?
Me too, definitely the exterior.
The exterior of the house. Let's find out where our judges score the special feature segment. Shaina?
6.
Rameshji?
me 6-2.
You're 6 as well. And Ruben?
7.
There you go. With that, it's time for us to tally up the total score of exterior, planning, interiors, and the special feature of today's entry, which is Amrutham. And the total score stands at, Rameshji?
70.
Not a bad start. Shaina?
69.
And Ruben?
70.
Now, another thing I'd like to say on Idea Dream Home Season 3, we get, you know, entries from different groups of people, people who've invested a lot of money, people who've invested small amounts of money working on small plots, large plots. At the end of the day, we're not going to judge any of the houses on the basis of the amount spent on it. It's being judged on the basis of these 4 parameters only. So it doesn't matter. No house is going to win just because a lot of money was spent on it. I can assure on that particular thing here. That's all we have for today. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow where we have yet another beautiful house on display. But till then, unfortunately, you've got to keep waiting. It's goodbye from all of us here on this lovely show, Idea Dream Home Season 3.